Mark Twain once told a group of young people, "Always do right. This will gratify some people and astonish the rest." Well, I don't know any elected official who has gratified and astonished more people than Orrin. He lives right, thinks right, and votes right. And he cares. And he cares deeply about the people who sent him to Washington, and he's been working overtime on their behalf. We share the same Western approach to life and liberty. We believe in limited government and unlimited opportunity, in low taxes and high growth, and we believe in a strong and prosperous America. When he got to Washington, Orrin Hatch didn't forget the folks back home. He didn't forget his ideals and convictions, and he didn't forget the value of hard work and high standards. He's one of the most responsible and hard-working members of the United States Senate. A man of deep principle whom I admire and whom I back 100%. He's been a strong voice for America and for preparedness. He's been a representative the people of Utah can be proud of. He's a dear friend and a talented public servant who's there when you need him.
He was recently named the most effective senator in Congress. There's no question that Senator Hatch can get more done in a single year than many lawmakers can hope to accomplish in an entire lifetime of service. Senator Orrin Hatch is an asset to America and a great, great friend of the people of Utah and of this president.
I also want to recognize Senator Orrin Hatch, who, believe me, he's tough. He would call me and say, "You got to do this." Is that right, Orrin? You didn't stop. He doesn't give up. Thank you to a very special man, Orrin Hatch, for the introduction, and that was truly a nice introduction, and I appreciate it. You are a true fighter, Orrin. I have to say, I've gotten to know him very well. I've gotten to know a lot of people very well. You meet fighters, and you meet people that you thought were fighters, but they're not so good at fighting. He's a fighter.
He will be very difficult to replace as far as a representative from the state of Utah.
Orrin Hatch kicks butt, if I can say that on television.
After serving for 40 years as Utah State Senator, Hatch says it is time to close the chapter on this part of his political career.
Hatch leaves behind a legacy of great legislative success, including passing the Americans with Disabilities Act, the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, and most recently, contributing mightily to this historic tax reform bill. When we talked about those Republicans were not going to get it done, Senator Hatch played a big part in pushing that tax reform through.
I met Orrin Hatch in 1990 at the first political event I ever attended in my political career in Charlotte, North Carolina. He's been a statesman, somebody who's been willing to work across party lines, but always kept true to his conservative values. He's not been somebody who's fallen into extremist rhetoric or anything like that, even as he's worked pretty closely with the Trump administration.
And like Mark, look, I was involved in Orrin Hatch's 1988 campaign as a youngster, known him a long time. He's a wonderful human being. I'm glad he's going out on a high. He has passed this major tax reform legislation. He's got a lot of other accomplishments under his belt. He has done a magnificent job for the country and for the state of Utah, and I'm glad he's going out on a high note.
You could argue that he's the most powerful politician Utah has ever had. As President Pro Tem and the chair of the Senate Finance Committee, he has a huge amount of sway.
He leaves on a high note, having passed tax reform here. You might remember that he was either the chair or the ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee for many years. He played a key role in the Clarence Thomas confirmation hearings in 1991.
And as we think of your legacy and as you think about it, how do you want your service to be remembered?
Well, I hope that they'll remember me as somebody who gave all he could every day, who was there for, in this case, 42 years.